The Ibrahim Governance Weekend is underway. The annual three-day event convenes prominent African political and business leaders, as well as individuals from civil society and international partners, to identify and deal with specific policy challenges and to identify the priorities for action. Now, this year, the summit focuses on public services and their key relation to good governance and effective leadership. Earlier today, the former finance ministers and business leaders sat down to discuss the issue of responsible tax. Businessman and founder of the Governance Week, Ibrahim, highlighted the growing importance of international cooperation to cut both tax policy uncertainty and profit shifting. He's advocating, in fact, for more open dialogue between governments. He pointed to the new challenges that new business models and tech are both creating to establish tax rules and international frameworks. Now, the Ibrahim Governance Week is underway, as we mentioned a little earlier. Prominent politicians and business leaders over there, as well as members of civil society and international parties are present. They're debating policy challenges right here in Africa and key priorities for action. This year, as we mentioned, public services and the relation to good governance are all vital and pretty much right in the crosshairs. CGTN's Uche Okoronkwo sat down with Nigeria's former finance minister and former World Bank director, Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala, to discuss her experience as an African leader.
Now, you've held a number of powerful political positions, including Nigeria's Minister of Finance. Do you agree with the notion that Africa's problems are rooted in its political structure as well as its leadership culture?
Political leadership, we need systems that work for us. Democracy is great because it allows the participation of many people. But sometimes democracy also costs money. And we haven't tackled that problem of campaign finance. How do people finance campaigns? How do you have a democracy that doesn't end up being a money, driven purely by money? Who has the most resources? How do you stop vote buying or rigging so that that voice of people can truly count? If you can fix some of these problems, then you can get to the right type of leadership, people really selecting those who can truly give them the kind of leadership they want.
Now, you gave us a behind-the-scenes account on what it's like to fight corruption in your book, which is titled Fighting Corruption is Dangerous. So what do you think are the biggest obstacles to overcoming corruption in Africa, and how do you think we need to deal with these obstacles?
The biggest obstacle I see on our continent is the absence of institutions and or the presence of very weak institutions. When you're fighting corruption, you need two things. You need the strong institutions, including the judiciary and the rule of law, to help you with the fight and to prevent corruption from taking place. I argue very strongly, for example, in the financial sector or system, which I know very well, that if you don't have strong systems and processes that are transparent and accountable in the way you manage your finances, you open the door.